The weight of silence. The air in the banquet hall clung to my skin, thick with the scent of champagne and polished leather. My wife, Lena, stood across the room, radiant in her emerald dress, her laughter cutting through the hum of corporate chatter. But it was the way her boss, Marcus, leaned into her, his hand grazing her lower back, lingering too long, that sent a jolt through my chest, sharp as a blade. I gripped my glass, the cold crystal biting into my palm, and told myself it was nothing. Just a friendly gesture. Just the wine playing tricks on my eyes. Lena's eyes met mine briefly, a flicker of something. Guilt? Fear? Before she turned back to Marcus, her smile tight but practiced. I'd seen that smile before, at home, when she'd brush off my questions about late nights at the office. Just work, David, she'd say, her voice soft but distant, like a radio signal fading out. I wanted to believe her. I always did. The gala was a glittering cage, all chandeliers and forced smiles, the kind of place where secrets hid behind tailored suits and clinking glasses. Marcus, the golden boy VP, held court near the stage, his charisma a magnet for the room's attention. Lena stood too close, her posture stiff, her fingers twisting the stem of her flute. I watched her, my heart a drumbeat of doubt. She'd been different lately, distracted, her phone always face down, her excuses polished but vague. I'd rationalized it all, stress, ambition, the pressure of climbing the corporate ladder. But now, with Marcus's hand brushing her arm again, the rationalizations crumbled like ash. I crossed the room, the crowd parting like a slow tide. My pulse thrummed in my ears, each step heavier than the last. Lena saw me coming, her eyes widening, and she stepped away from Marcus, a subtle shift that felt like a confession. David, she said, her voice bright but brittle, you're here. Couldn't miss it, I said, forcing a grin. My gaze flicked to Marcus, whose smirk didn't falter. Quite the event, huh? Oh, it's a night to remember, Marcus replied, his tone slick, his eyes locking onto mine like he was daring me to see something. My stomach twisted, a cocktail of anger and dread. I wanted to grab him, demand answers, but the room was watching, and Lena's hand on my arm was a silent plea to stay calm. The evening dragged on, each moment a slow drip of tension. Marcus's speech was next, a self-congratulatory toast to the company's success. Lena sat beside me, her knee brushing mine under the table, but her warmth felt like a lie. I noticed the way her phone buzzed in her clutch, how she glanced at it when she thought I wasn't looking. My mind raced, piecing together fragments. The late nights, the whispered calls, the way she'd flinch when I touched her unexpectedly. I told myself I was paranoid, but the truth was clawing its way to the surface. When Marcus took the stage, the room erupted in applause. He was all charm, his voice smooth as velvet, but I couldn't focus on his words. My eyes were on Lena, whose gaze was fixed on him, her expression unreadable. Then it happened, a text notification lit up her phone, forgotten on the table. I glanced at it, my heart lurching. Meet me after. Usual spot. The sender, Marcus. The room spun. My breath caught, sharp and shallow, as the pieces locked into place. The late nights weren't just work. The distance wasn't just stress. Lena's hand found mine, squeezing gently, but it felt like a stranger's touch. I looked at her, searching for the woman I'd loved for 10 years, but all I saw was a mask. Marcus droned on, oblivious, his arrogance a beacon. The MIC gleamed on the podium, and something in me snapped. I stood, my chair scraping loudly, and strode to the stage. Lena's whisper, David, no, was drowned out by the blood roaring in my ears. I grabbed the MIC from Marcus mid-sentence, the crowd gasping. Ladies and gentlemen, I said, my voice steady despite the fire in my chest, let's talk about loyalty. The room fell silent, every eye on me. Marcus froze, his smirk fading. Some people think they can take what doesn't belong to them. Like trust. Like love. I turned to him, my words ablade. Like my wife. The crowd erupted in murmurs. Lena's face drained of color, her eyes pleading, but I couldn't stop. I have proof, I said, holding up her phone, the text glowing like a confession. Your VP's been meeting my wife in secret. Check his emails. Check his texts. It's all there. Marcus lunged for the MIC, but security was already moving. The room was chaos, gasps, whispers, phones recording. Lena stood, tears streaming, her voice a broken whisper. "David, I'm sorry." But it was too late. The truth was out, raw and ugly, and as I walked away, the weight of her betrayal crushed me. Yet, in exposing Marcus, I'd reclaimed something: my voice, my dignity. The room faded behind me, but the pain, sharp and unending, followed.